that's just been introduced last week at the Paris meeting. This is a great product. Very briefly, I'd kind of like to tell you why it's a great product. And it all has to do with what's your digestion and your immune health. But it's based on what's called the microbiome. I think this is a new concept for most people, but if you don't know it, we are not alone. Humans are not just human. We have more bacterial cells within our body than we have human cells. There's about 100 trillion bacterial cells that live in and on our bodies that are called the microbiome. We've evolved with these bacteria. The bacteria were actually here before we were. They are using us to keep them alive. We use them to keep us alive as well. It's a symbiotic relationship. But these bacteria outnumber us by about 3 to 1. Almost 75% of the cells within your body are not human cells, they're bacterial and fungal cells. And they play a critical role not only in digestion, not only in breaking down some of the nutrients we eat, but also in making our immune system work properly. Many of the health issues that we're seeing today may be due to disruptions in the microbiome that's been occurring in the last few years with the increased use of antibiotics and other pharmaceutical type drugs. Also, when we change our diet and we eat less fiber and more refined sugar, it changes the type of bugs that live in your body. And that has very serious health consequences. So we put together this probiotic product, very easy to use stick pack formulation. If you haven't seen it, these are great. Comes in a stick pack, it's dairy free, it's sugar free, it's vegetarian and vegan friendly, easy to stick in your pocket, carry it around with you. You can take it anytime you want. You open up the pack, you can sprinkle it on food, you can throw it into a Nutri-Meal, you can throw it into a glass of water, you can take it straight out of the stick pack. Something that I do, particularly when I'm traveling, because it helps with your whole digestive system, making everything work better. Probiotics really have a couple of different issues, right? Let's talk about digestion first. Number one, when we eat foods, we have some enzymes that help break down some of these complex foods. We don't have every enzyme necessary to break all our foods apart so that we can absorb them. But the bacteria that live in our gut break these things down further. So they chop it up into small pieces so that we can absorb it and use the nutrients, particularly carbohydrates. And I'm talking about complex carbohydrates and fibers. So when you have healthy guts within, or healthy bacteria within your gut, it helps you to absorb your nutrients better. It also improves the absorption of micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that we need every day. And some of these bacteria actually produce B vitamins, so they're pretty important to have. Finally, they make these short-chain fatty acids, which actually helps to improve the health of the cells within your gut. And it reduces what's called gap junctions, often called leaky gut syndrome. If your cells in your gut are not healthy, they don't match together, and things kind of slip by and get into your blood that shouldn't get in. And these probiotics actually improve that. So the three benefits are they promote regularity, they improve nutrient absorption, and they improve the health of your gut cells. Now this isn't just my opinion, this is actually scientifically proven. So there are clinical studies looking at the bacteria that we use in our product. Now I think this is a very important thing to know. We say that we have proven efficacy because we use what's called Bifidobacterium BB12 and Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG or LGG. These are very descriptive names. Scientifically, when you look at a bacteria, you have to know three things. You have to know its genus, its species, and its strain. Okay? that identifies a single organism. So I'm sure lots of you have heard about lactobacillus. Right? There's lactobacillus acidophilus that's in yogurts. That is kind of a generic bacteria. It breaks down milk to turn it into yogurt. It's not a healthy bacteria for humans. Well, it's not an unhealthy, but it doesn't necessarily impart health to the human. So in the clinical studies, the exact strain has been tested. So this is a study that looked at lactobacillus GG supplementation. This is one of the bacteria we use in our product. What they found is that treatment reduced bloating, diarrhea, and taste disturbances on people that were on antibiotic treatments. They weren't getting acid reflux afterwards, in other words. Another study with lactobacillus GG, the exact same strain that we use. This was on antibiotic-associated diarrhea in children. And the group that got the probiotic had prevention of diarrhea, and it's probably a good thing in small children. You don't want them to get diarrhea, they get dehydrated and it's dangerous. Another study, again, lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, LGG. This was in those receiving LGGs showed significant improvements in intestinal permeability. So that's that leaky gut syndrome. So the health benefits of digestion are well documented. The second benefit of these bacteria are in training your immune system. Right? The largest part of our immune system is located within our gut. About 70 to 80% of your immune system actually takes place in your gut. This makes sense because most of the infectious pathogenic bacteria that would attack us will come in with food or something else go through your gut, and you need protection at that stage. And we have several things that happen. Number one, when you eat food, it gets in your stomach, you secrete stomach acid, that kills a lot of bacteria. So the pathogenic bacteria that come in with your food get knocked down. Secondly, when those bacteria that don't get killed get down into your intestines, if you have a very healthy colony of bacteria already there, they've established a home. They have a place to live. They take the food first, and these other bacteria that try and come in and compete get out competed for food in the space. So they don't take hold, they can't live there. But the third and even more important is that the healthy bacteria that are in your gut should activate the production of immune cells. And this is where most of the immune cells get their initial signal to start growing. So those three benefits together make sure that your immune system works better. And again, this is clinically proven. Let's look at some of those. Again, here's one with that same LGG, lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, and this was in infants with atopic dermatitis, which is an allergic reaction. And we found that LGG enhanced not only gut cell barrier, but it aided in the control of infections. This is a great study. I like it because if you look at those two bacteria, you might notice that they're the exact same bacteria in this product. So that was done with a 50-50 mixture of lactobacillus rhamnosus GG and bifidobacteria anomalous, which is BB12. 50-50 mixture, just like we have. They use 10 billion active per day. We have 12 billion in ours, very similar to what we are selling. This was done on college students. How many of you have college students at home or no college student? You know what happens when they go to school? Well, first of all, they eat like crap. They're out partying all night. And then they stay up all night to study for the test that they should have been working on weeks before. They get sick because of that quite frequently. So this is a great group of people to work with. Double-blind, placebo-controlled study. The group that got the active probiotic happened to have much less infection, upper respiratory tract infections. These are, colds, chest colds. When they did get them, it was shorter, and the severity of the cold was a lot less. And it was less frequent for these students that got the probiotic to get the infection. One more study, I like doing these. This is just on the bifidobacteria, BB12. This was in infants, but again, it showed that those infants that received BB12 experienced fewer respiratory tract infections. Controlled administration in early childhood may reduce respiratory infections. This product really works. Something that you ought to, particularly for immune health, think about taking on a regular basis. But we also have our essentials.